In astrology, when you look at your Uranus placement can show you the things in your life and the themes that are a little bit different from everybody else's. Uranus is the planet of eccentricity. It's different. It's like the weirdo of the zodiac. And wherever you have Uranus in your natal chart, will show you where you have kind of an oddball situation happening. Things might not be exactly like everybody else in that area of life, whether it is positive or just has like a weird twist on it. You know, it's like the area of life that is different from everybody else's. Depending on the house that you have your Uranus placement in can show you a lot about the things that might be eccentric for you in that area of life, or it could just be a little strange and different as compared to your peers. Hi, my name is Elizabeth and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Here we like to talk about astrology, numerology, and everything written in the stars for you. I've been a practicing astrologer since 2017, and here on this channel, I share my knowledge with you about everything written in the stars. In this video, we are going to be talking about the planet Uranus and what it means in each of the different houses. It's important to understand your Uranus placement, as Uranus can really show you a lot about your personality and some things that could have happened in your upbringing that really shape your personality today. And when you have strong Uranus transits, you might find that something strange or eccentric or just different happens to you during those times. If you really want to find how your Uranus placement kind of manifests, pay attention to moon transits. When the transit moon, which is the fastest moving planet, transits over your Uranus placement, pay attention to anything that might happen to you during that time, because that will really show you the energy of your own personal Uranus placement. Now, going into this video, I'm going to go through all of the houses so you can get an understanding of your personal Uranus placement, what it means to have Uranus in the house that you have it in your natal chart. Starting with the first house in astrology, if you have your Uranus placement in the first house, your appearance takes on a very different and unique tonality. There's something about the way that you dress or the way that you present yourself, your hair color, your facial structure, the way that you dress, the way that you present yourself, even your name could be very different from other people. People might see you in a very unique light. You might be very well recognized for your unique facial features or having a very different presenting appearance. You might also be somebody who's kind of interested in plastic surgery or somebody who wants to alter or change their appearance in a different way. You could, again, be interested in plastic surgery, or maybe you want to get a lot of tattoos. Maybe you want to change your hair color to pink or blue or purple. Maybe you want to dress in a way that nobody has dressed before. I feel like the superpower of having Uranus in the first house is you're very unique and eccentric. You seem to embody the qualities of Uranus, which is like so different and strange and like different from everybody else. But the superpower there is the fact that because of this, you stand out so much. And if you decide to create like a fashion line or a makeup line, it's going to be so unique. You might even get very celebrated for that very thing. If you have Uranus in the second house, you might have a interesting relationship with your personal finances. Depending on how this is aspected, Uranus can typically be like really high highs and really low lows. There's no stability to your personal finances. Uranus will bring in something strange into your life, and you'll all of a sudden you have a job that you're making 6 to 8 figures every year, and then all of a sudden you hit rock bottom and then you go up again. It's like a roller coaster with your own personal finances. However, if you have planets aspecting it positively, say Uranus is conjunct Venus in like the second house, this can indicate that you have a lot of money, like a very strange, large amount of it in your entire life. Like something strange could happen and all of a sudden you're like Bill Gates, or like you have like a ton, there's so much abundance. Something like that will indicate that you could have a lot of money. Otherwise, if you just have Uranus in the second house, it's more about the roller coaster with your personal finances rather than just being very financially stable. If you have Uranus in the third house, you might be somebody who is very different in the way that you see things, the way you talk about things. Even your writing style might be a little bit different from other people. If you've ever read the book House of Leaves, that is kind of a good example of like Uranus in the third house. They wrote that book so strangely, but because of how different and eccentric the way it was written, which I highly recommend if you want to read that book, it became such a cult favorite and everybody really liked that book. It's like, if you really like that book, you really like that book. Otherwise it might be a little too dark for you. But it's kind of like that. Like, you do things with your own writing skills, your communications that are so different from other people that people are like, oh, this is really cool, or like, this is really eccentric. I really like this. Kind of exactly like that book. Or you could have like a podcast that has really strange themes to it. You might also really like things that are like ancient aliens or just conspiracy theories, stuff like that. You like strange things. You might love to talk about the fact that there's aliens in the ocean and things like that. It's like your favorite topic in the whole world. You like eccentric things. You like to think about eccentric things. You also like to create eccentric things with your writing, things that are very strange and different and unpredictable. You love. If you have Uranus in the 4th house, you might have a very different relationship at home. You might have an upbringing that was very different from your peers. You could have a different type of home life. You could have different parents. You could have just a different situation at home that people had never expected before. You might be very unique in that way, and people might like you because of that, or they might feel the opposite way depending on how things are aspected and depending on their own personal natal charts. They could have some sort of opinion on it, but regardless, you have kind of a different relationship with your home life, with your parents, with your siblings. Everything at home is very different as compared to the typical or the norm. Yours is very different. You could also have a very different relationship with women in your life. There's something about your relationship with them that is very different. You might also find that your whole life is just very different and strange in your domestic life. If you have Uranus in the 5th house, you might be very creatively inclined. You could be a talented artist, but the way you create things is very different from everybody else. And this could be very recognized and celebrated depending on what you're creating here. You could be somebody who creates something really, really cool, really, really different. It could also help people on a humanitarian level as well. It could innovate things. People might like the innovation of the things that you create. You might be an entertainer and you could be doing things so different from everybody else that everybody's like, oh, this is so strange and different and out there, but I'm so intrigued by it. You could be one of those people who creates things that are very different and strange and out there, but in turn, because of that, it becomes very celebrated. If you have Uranus in the 6th house, your relationship with work and your coworkers and even your health are very different. You could have different types of work. You could work in a different type of environment. You could also have different types of coworkers. You could have very eccentric coworkers or work in a field that is very eccentric and different. You might also work in a field that is very innovative, and you could work in like science and technology where you're pushing the boundaries of technology and innovation. You might also work in like a humanitarian field where you're helping people, you're working to help people in some way. You want to progress society and innovate society, and so you base your entire work around that. And you might be really focused on revolution and innovating things and helping people as an entire global society, not necessarily pertain to one group of people. If you have Uranus in the 7th house, you have a very different string of relationships. Your romantic relationships are very different. You could be with somebody who is unconventional. Your relationships could be unconventional as well. Your romantic relationships could be very different and very unique, and people might be like, you really want to be in a relationship like that? Are you sure? And you're like, yes, because I am different, rebellious, and I am unique. People might be like, oh, that's weird, okay, whatever, but that's kind of like what you like relationships, like you like those type of relationships. That's your favorite type of thing, is having unique, different, strange relationships. You also are attracted to unique people. You like people who are a little bit strange. You're attracted to people who are eccentric and different. You're not interested in somebody who is just like run-of-the-mill, plain Jane. You want somebody who is very unique and different and strange. You want somebody who does something different with their appearance. You love people who like resemble alien qualities or have different colored hair or dress differently. You might like people who are very eccentric and might like eccentric themes. You might like people who love things. Again, I keep going back to Ancient Aliens, but I feel like it's the best TV show to talk about this for. But people who like those TV shows, people who like to watch conspiracy theories on YouTube, people who like podcasts like that, people who like strange, eccentric things. You might also be really attracted to people who are kind of humanitarian and love to innovate things, people who like to make things that progress society globally. You might also be really attracted to. If you have Uranus in the 8th house, some strange things could have happened to you throughout your entire life that were very traumatic. Some strange things could have happened to you that you're like, did that really happen to me? Because this does not happen to everybody else. I'm so confused by this. You might have strange paranormal experiences. You could be somebody who talks to ghosts, has seen ghosts, is in communications with ghosts. You could be somebody who has a lot of paranormal experiences, and you're always like, oh, I wish I could meet somebody who also has paranormal experiences. This is so strange. But you could experience that a lot throughout your entire life, and you're like always trying to figure out if you're the only person who's experienced that. You might also have gone through some weird traumatizing stuff, like maybe you were bullied a lot, or maybe you were bullied for something weird that not everybody is bullied for. Maybe it had a very long lasting impression on you, which made you change your entire life in order to forget the trauma. Something like that could have happened to you. With this placement, you might also find that you have the potential for making large financial gains and throughout your entire life. So if you play the lottery, you could win something like the lottery. In order to tap into this energy, Uranus in the 8th house, you have to actually do the action that will bring that money into you. But you do have the potential for making that large financial gain with this placement. 8th house is large, sudden financial gains, and Uranus is unpredictability, prize, and things like that. So you could receive a large financial sum of money or something like that if you have this placement throughout your entire life. You could also receive a very large inheritance as well, because 8th house rules over inheritances. If you have Uranus in the 9th house, you might travel on a whim. You might be somebody who loves to travel, but like things happen in your life that are just a little bit strange, a little bit different, and all of a sudden you're traveling to a different country unintentionally. It just kind of happened to you, and you're just like, okay, I guess this is what happened. Now I'm living in France for a few years, or I'm going to Australia and I'm going to be living here for a while. Something like that might happen to you, where you're like, all of a sudden you have to pick up and travel somewhere. And you might also find that you have a different relationship with higher education than most people. So you could be somebody who has like a very strange degree. You could have like a very, very unique bachelor's degree or master's degree or something that not everybody has. It's very like unique and different. You might also be somebody who really cares more about like sociology and humanitarian efforts and could base your entire higher education career just on that. If you have Uranus in the 10th house, you could be somebody who finds success at random periods in your life. You could all of a sudden go viral on the internet, changes your whole life flips upside down, and then all of a sudden you're a viral internet sensation and you're now a celebrity, and it happens suddenly, unexpectedly. You didn't expect it to happen. There was just a transit that happened and you're like, oh my gosh, well, guess what? I'm a celebrity now. Something like that could happen to you where it's unexpected. And you might also find that your 10th house takes on kind of like a unique public image. You could have a very unique public image. You could be seen differently in the public eye. People might see you differently. They might have a different opinion on you. You might be somebody with like a unique outer image. You could have a unique public image. You might also work hard for humanitarian efforts. You could really care a lot about people and helping people and pushing forward as a society. And that's a big part of your public image. Like you could randomly come into prominence and then start helping a lot of people. Like I feel like that is Uranus in the 10th house. If you have Uranus in the 11th house, you might be somebody who randomly gets a large social media following. Like you could have a few videos go viral on the internet and then all of a sudden you have a big following on social media. You might also find that it's like random when this happens. Like you might be posting like randomly on TikTok for fun, then all of a sudden you have one video that goes mega viral, and then all of a sudden, wow, now I have 5 million followers. And you're like, how do I have 5 million followers? And you're like, well, you went viral a few times, so that's why. It could be the theme that you experience throughout your entire life. Like random things happen to you with involving social media or social networks. You might also find that you, in your 11th house energy, you really care a lot about humanitarian things. You really care a lot about people. So you in particular might care more about large groups of people and progressing us forward as a society rather than other people. If you have Uranus in your 12th house, really strange things happen to you as it pertains to isolation and suffering. It could happen at random time periods throughout your life. You could all of a sudden be like randomly put in an institution. You could be randomly sent to the hospital. You could find that it's for no rhyme or reason. It just happens to you. It's just an experience in your life. You could be somebody who randomly experiences these things and you didn't expect them to happen. But having Uranus in the 12th house, that will happen to you. If you have that placement, random things happen to you that might involve your own personal suffering, your own personal isolation. You might randomly go to the hospital. Stuff like that could happen to you throughout your entire lifetime. And you're like, oh, well, I guess this happens to me every now and then. It's kind of unpredictable. I guess this is what happens. So that's basically Uranus through all of the houses. I hope that this video is educational and helpful for you. If you like this video, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. I post new videos every single week. Thank you so much.